Okay, since we are thusly assembled, I will go ahead and start with a recap. It's going to be short and sweet this time. Last session began with the Sands of Justice entering an ancient autumnal forest within the Feywild, seeking the Autumn Court. After a few trials, a mysterious magical wall, a pit of fairy tombstones, and a riddle filled hag's hut, the party finds themselves successful, stepping out of the hag's hut and into a magical fey village. The party sets foot into the Autumn Court, and that is kind of where we are now. So, you guys just kind of stepped through this portal from the hag's hut into this magical village. As you kind of look around, it's several things are clear and apparent. Most of the buildings and structures here do not appear to be constructed, but rather grown, whether it's out of stone or clay or rock, vines or bush or tree. Most of the homes seem naturally made, or grown rather. And as you guys kind of enter for the first time and look around, you see all kinds of fae going around doing their things in this bustling fae village. You see like fae children kind of playing tag in the streets as they laugh and giggle. You see other smaller fae children, more nimble, winged fae kind of chase various jeweled grasshoppers and glass butterflies through the various trees and leaves and vines and things. As you kind of look onward, there are various, just tons of various fae going about their business. There's like, you see lots of pixies and fairies. You see, they're kind of collecting things. They're like foraging, going back and forth with a berry or a nut, being, fairly sizable to these smaller creatures. And so they're kind of whipping about, similar to, insects, really. You have a bunch of Eladrin around, which are these, primordial elven folk who kind of take on features of various seasons. Like there are summer Eladrin, there are winter Eladrin, there are various, variants of these tall elven folk kind of going about their days, you see, aside from that, and some of the smaller folk that also kind of dwell around, you see several hobgoblins, these large red type of armored, very like war type people, seem to, or war type fae, covered in armor, thick bulging red muscles. They several groups of them seem to be prominent in the area. But yeah, you guys kind of walk into just like everything going as it normally would. People barely bat an eyelash at you as you kind of step through the portal, and no sooner do you guys step out of the hag's hut than does the portal that brought you there disappear. So, left to your own devices in this magical fey autumnal village, what do you guys do from here? You just kind of breached the outskirts.
Well, you think we should go find lodgings first, just so we have a center point in case we get split up or something?
That seems like a fair idea. And I mean, it might go without saying, but it's worth saying. Blade, just try not to fuck everything. And he just kind of gestures to the wide variety of creatures that we're now staring at.
I
Well,
think
I
you
can try.
gotta
No promises.
add Logus to that list now.
Yeah, I feel like it should be just a general rule of thumb that while we're in the Feywild, we don't fuck anything.
Well, that's no fun.
Boo!
I mean-
Bad idea.
In Blade's defense, he's trying to get laid in every reality. I mean, the material plane. He had that orgy over there, and the Shadowfell. He gets a pass.
I want to take advantage of every realm and what it has to offer.
All right, Blade,
Any
you
port
get
in the
one.
storm is more like it, but
It's research. And you'll thank me one day.
He's got an STD, or he's definitely trying to catch one. It's just gotta be.
Blade, I mean, no sooner than is this said than does a beautiful nymph kind of catch your eye from a windowsill not too far away, and she stares at you blatantly, making eye contact before kind of blushing and pretending to look away, but clearly making an attempt to notice you noticing her.
But we'll be kind of like, yeah, I know we don't want to mess around here, but I mean, if the opportunity arises, I mean, I'm sure it'd be fine, right? And he'll be kind of glancing over, and maybe he'll like do a little wink over at this nymph.
Go ahead and give me a performance check.
Performance, just roll it. Plus 15. Damn. A 22.
As you kind of look back, she's kind of looking at you, and she seems to be whispering to someone behind like a window shutter. And as she does, the other shutter quickly bursts open, and a second identical nymph is now gazing at you, and they whisper something between one another and blush and kind of stare you down.
Blade will lean over to Logos and be like, are you seeing these two? They're gorgeous, top notch. You. And I'll kind of wave over.
Logus is already blushing.
At this point, you guys would be kind of standing in like a main thoroughfare, but the two nymphs definitely beckon you closer. With hand and finger gestures, they give you the come here.
It seems like there might be we might have some helpers here. And I'll kind of direct the group, pointing them at the nymphs there. Be like, maybe they have some information for us, huh?
You know, I'm a great judge of character. Maybe me and you go talk to them. Gladiator, maybe you can find us some rooms or something, and I'll flick him a couple gold.
All right, whatever. Just don't promise your firstborn child or soul or entire fortune to anyone. Don't make any promises. I think in general is maybe just don't do that. No promises.
You got it.
Oh God, we're fucked. And he's just gonna turn and I don't know. I don't know where do I see someplace that looks like a tavern or inn, or am I just gonna walking around?
Go ahead and give me, we'll call it your call. Perception, investigation, whatever works.
can I help him out with that or roll my own as well? 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
for
gonna
sure.
I'm not gonna hang around for the bros to go hit on these creatures. I'm gonna go help find lodging.
Yeah, I have a plus
Okay.
5 investigation, so I'm gonna do that. Ask around.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, yeah. So, uh, is with Renwick helping me? Do I do that with advantage or just
He can either help you and give you advantage, or he can make his own roll. His call.
you want to do separate rolls?
I'll do separate. Yeah, I got a +10, so why not? But I rolled a fucking 2 for a 12.
I rolled a 13 for an 18.
Very nice. Renwick, as you're kind of looking around, there's some like smaller, like fey-like creatures that are roughly halfling-sized to a halfling. Like they're only about a foot tall, and they're very, very fast. So they blur almost in a way that you do, and they talk really fast, and they're hard to communicate with. And though you try to flag a couple down and get some information, you flat out just don't understand them, and they grow frustrated with your slowness and move on quickly. Gladier, on the other hand, you notice, kind of in the party tank, the armored individual, you notice a crew of these hobgoblins, these large, red, muscle-bound type of creature, humanoid, and they all seem to be wearing like fancy armor, like, and it looks a lot of it looks not only high quality, but some of it's like well worn. And you notice that about half a dozen of these guys laughing and slapping each other on the back, kind of giving each other a hard time. They all make their way into a single building up the road, and it has a little wooden sign dangling on a couple of chains with a single green maple leaf just kind of imprinted on it. It would appear to be some sort of public house or drinking establishment.
And Glader's just gonna kind of like reach down and like tap Renwick on the back, like very like quickly, frantically, just be like, "Beer, that's where it is. I guarantee it."
All right, well, lead the way, big man.
Locus, you coming with us, or you going with the two fools over there?
Oh, I don't need to watch them get in trouble. I'll come with you guys.
All right. And Glader will lead the way, walking towards this maple leaf establishment.
All right, as you guys make your way towards the establishment, Blade and Logos, as you guys kind of approach this window sill with a couple of these, bark skinned, kind of very like leafy haired women who are very voluptuous types. How do you guys proceed? As you guys approach the window, a couple of chuckles and giggles, but one of them extends her hand for a handshake.
I've come from many parts of this world, from here, this realm, others, and I've come across a lot of beauty. But you, my dear, have bested them all. And he'll grab her hand and give it a light peck.
Okay, go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
'28.
She giggles and kind of swoons a little bit at your words, and kissing her hand, and she kind of stares at you longingly for a moment, and then kind of begins to mime She kind of gestures to a table inside with a tea set. It looks like fresh steam is pouring out of one of these pots. And she kind of gestures to the tea set and then looks back at you and Logos, and she kind of just mimes like, "Come in." She tells you to come through the window to, and but she does it without speaking, only miming.
Can I do like a just like kind of like a quick like vibe check on? I mean, not on her. I guess maybe like more like kind of glancing inside. Just make sure there's like nothing shisty going on. As much as I like
Yeah.
this lady.
I would say give me an insight or perception check, whichever you prefer.
The Seps is higher. Let's let's go perception. Nope. I crawl right the fuck in there.
I mean, as far as you could tell, it's a cozy cottage. It looks like there's a stairwell and a couple of doors, so there's some other rooms and an upstairs, but it looks like you were looking into a kitchen. There's a table with some chairs sat around it. So there's like a tea set, which with what looks to be, ironically enough, four cups and little like tea dishes, and there's a bit of a fireplace. Looks like a fresh log or two burning in the corner, and yeah, it looks like a standard kitchen.
Could I do a separate insight check on this whole situation?
Yeah, sure. As Blade goes to crawl through the window, you take a peek.
First roll on the new dice, mid. I got a 10 for a plus 10 for a dirty 20 insight.
With 20 on insight, you it's pretty clear just kind of in your first interaction, you're not entirely sure that nymphs can speak. You swear you saw them maybe whispering to each other, but they've only really communicated with you two via hand gestures and like sign language. You're not entirely sure if they're like using words or even speak your language.
So this whole time they've just been like using their version of sign language.
Yeah, they're like miming or using hand signals, but they gesture, hello to each of you and are welcoming you in for tea. But they do suggest that you come through the window.
I'm gonna cover my lips, just kind of like put my hand up and whisper in Blade's ear. Blade, I'm not sure I'm gonna whisper it because I don't know if they can hear or not. I'm not sure that they speak. It seems that they're using sign language of some sort. Might be difficult to communicate.
Well, I mean, it's all in body language, right?
I'm gonna like let Blade take lead, but my eyes are gonna be dark around. I'm gonna say that I'm a little like on edge a little bit, and I'm like keeping eyes out for anything weird while he sits down.
So you guys do decide to go through the window then?
If Blade goes in, I will follow him.
Um, hmm. Fuck it. Let's go in. I mean, I don't think there's anything to fear here.
Excellent. So these two ladies get pretty excited. They clap and smile, and strange, like sounds like a ringing of bells when they laugh. But they do laugh kind of or giggle excitedly when you guys decide to come through the window, and they even help you. They extend a hand and pull you both through. They escort you over to this little tea set, and out of a rather colorful tin box, they pull out several bags of tea, and they drop one into each cup and begin filling your guys, steeping some tea as they ogle you guys intensely. And now let's cut over to this tavern. As Renwick, Locris, and sorry, I almost choked on my drink. As Renwick, Locris, and Gladier enter this, what is known as the Green Leaf, it does appear to be a tavern. You see several pixies sitting on a single bar stool. They are all kind of huddled in a circle, swapping tales and drinking various, elixirs. You see the half or dozen or so of these large, muscular hobgoblins, this very warrior type race. They're sitting around a hearth, at a nearby table. They're all drinking ales and swapping war stories. You see like a lone Eladrin or two kind of lingering over a glass of wine as they kind of, ponder life. But behind the bar is a rather stout dwarven woman, and she, from what you can tell from the locals so far that you've encountered, this dwarf woman very much appears to be not from the Feywild. She looks like possibly from the material plane, but she nonetheless has a sick set of mutton chops and is completely bald as she walks through the back of the bar, cleaning glasses and serving drinks. She doesn't seem to notice you guys, as she is rather busy dealing with the very vigorous orders of these hobgoblins. It seems she's pretty much running them beers nonstop, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They guzzle it in like a single drink and demand more. They're getting pretty rowdy.
I don't know, boys, should we attempt to get a drink? Inquire about some rooms? No, I mean, she looks kind of busy, but throw enough coin on the counter, she'll pay attention to us, right?
She does seem a bit busy, and coming from a service industry background, working at the tavern with my fam. I'm not sure we want to disturb her necessarily, but we can certainly grab a seat and maybe just nod at her, let her know that when she gets a chance, she can join us.
We can just do that awkward thing where we stand at the bar and
No,
hold
no,
up
we're
our
not going to do that. And Remwick just
fingers every
goes and
time
tries to find a seat somewhere.
just look at her every time she glances our way, and with the hopeful smile, and then she runs off in another direction, and then we just sit there dejected and say, "Okay, let's go get a seat." He just follows her.
So as you guys kind of step up to get a seat, there's people here, but it's not like crowded. There's definitely room. You guys find yourselves zero and table, and after continuously like marathoning beers to these guys, this dwarf woman seems to get a little frustrated, and she just grabs a rather large keg and several glasses all at once. Keg over her head, several glasses in each hand, and walks it out to the hobgoblin table and slams it down. Hands them all a beverage, an empty glass, and she says, "Now piss off." And she walks back to the bar before noticing you guys. She lets out a long sigh, sparks up a rather large cigar, takes a good drag, exhales, and then makes her way over to you. She said, "Wow, manlings, huh? All right, been a while. What are you having?"
Beer, strong.
We'll take your recommendation. You look like a lady of fine taste.
I will take whatever is easiest for you to bring to this table.
She looks to you, Gladiator, and she smiles. "Oh man, I really like you. And you." She looks at Renwick with the most serious and lethal of gazes. "That is the rudest thing anyone's ever said to me in this establishment." She quickly turns heel and goes behind the bar to fetch you guys some beverages.
You're the anti-blade there, aren't you, Runwick?
Yeah, you just kind of struck out real quick. I mean, damn.
I mean, I just said that she looks like she has good taste. Took her
Yeah, no,
recommendation. I don't.
it's not your fault. You didn't say anything actually rude. You're
Is it a
fine.
faith thing? I wasn't even flirting there. I mean, I
Well,
really was just genuinely going to take her recommendation as a bartender.
she doesn't even look like she's from here, which I'm actually genuinely curious about. But no, I don't know. She might just be had a long, hard day. This is nothing about you.
So she shortly returns, and she sets down a mug of cold, frothy ale in front of Gladier, and a second in front of Locris, and a very small, like, children's glass of what would appear to be room temperature ale with no foam or luster in front of Renwick. And she snorts, "Lady, huh?" And she stomps off.
Excuse me, ma'am. I didn't catch your name. What was it again?
"You didn't catch it because I didn't throw it. We don't, you got to be careful about asking stuff like that around here. I know you're, I can just smell the material plane on you, which, good on you for making your way around here, but let me just
Oh, well,
recommend not giving your name to anybody if you can help it.
yeah.
Like, they
Well,
might literally, like, take it like you don't remember what it is, or anytime your comrades, she gestures to Locris and Renwick, would to, like, say your name, nothing would come out. So it's pretty dangerous. You should be more careful. Be observant.
let's try. What can we refer to you as?
There we go.
I am Darbu. I go by Darbu. Thank you.
All right, Darboot, how much for these ales here?
Um, you're definitely not from here. You don't pay for ale in the autumn court. It's just what we do. Welcome.
Oh, well, do you take tips or like any? I mean, is
Yeah,
there
I mean, if
anything?
you have some afs, I'll take some afs.
Some what? Ass?
Afs, yeah.
Excuse my ignorance. As you so deftly notice, we are not from here. What the hell is an aft?
Oh yeah, an af in the Fae is kind of like well, it's like currency. It's like money, like gold coins in the material plane. But in the Fae, the rules are different. You find that gold doesn't really have as much value because it's just kind of a natural part of the world that occurs, and anything that is naturally in nature can potentially be summoned by every sprite, pixie, fairy, and witch, hag, etc. So, Apps. She pulls a single feather out of a leather pouch, and it is like a glowing, like it's glowing with like almost like a radiant light. And she shows it to you. She takes another feather from a separate pocket. It is a black crow feather. It is rather plain and ordinary. And she holds him close, and you see like this golden essence just kind of like transfer. This radiant energy just kind of transfers from one feather to the other, and what was once a glowing feather is now black, and what was once a black feather is now glowing. She says, yeah, AFs, it's like arcane feathers. They, good in a pinch, they're good for a pick-me-up, good for seasoning on food, yeah, hoard enough of them, you even might be able to burn off a decent bit of magic in the form of a spell or two, and that's just, how the average folks around here, let alone the magically proficient ones, so... different times. She returns the glowing feather to one pouch and the black feather to another.
Can I make? I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one curious about this, but can I make some sort of check to see, like maybe like an arcane check or something to see what just happened, like what kind of magic it is?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Would I be able to also?
Yeah, you can aid him or make your own check.
I'll make my own. 'Cause I have a +9. 21.
Renwick's quietly just sitting there sipping his child's cup of stale beer.
As she talks, she definitely glares at you occasionally.
I rolled, I'm probably getting all my good rolls out of the way now, but I rolled a 23.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, you guys would see that what just kind of happened is that this currency that they use, for whatever reason, they are particular about feathers, whether that's part of the magic or not, who's to say, but it would appear that this like magical essence can reside in these feathers, and the more concentrated the essence, the more its value. So, a single feather is worth something along the lines of a single gold coin, but you could put several glowing feathers' essence into one feather, which would make it exceptionally bright and radiant and worth 10 gold coins, etc., etc. It's just kind of their currency. But this arcane energy, since you guys both got over a 20, it does appear to have other uses. It looks like it could be a spell component. It looks like it could be a decent seasoning for food. It also looks like if you were to gather enough of them, mechanically speaking, would be able to have a temporary free spell slot.
Do you have a conversion market around here?
Me? No, I owed the princess a couple of favors. She took it easy on me and totally chose not to screw me when she totally could have. And just kind of pay back to her, I run the Green Leaf here, just serving beers and catering to the more rowdy, less civilized customers. Yeah. Most people just drink in the main hall. She kind of points towards what would be like the center of town. It's like a giant oak tree fell there once, and it was massive, so they turned it into like almost like a Viking hall. And it's where most of town gathers, and it's where the princess kind of oversees with the town and makes her decrees and things. So you'll definitely have to check it out. Zara, she's got this wicked pie recipe, man. Like the cherry pie and the peach pie. Oh my goodness, it's to die for.
Well, do you know how we could get one of those feathers and be able to, I guess, charge credit onto it?
I mean, you just kind of she gives you one. She's like, here, you figure it out. Maybe you clean up this table after you and your friends for me, huh? She hands you one of these glowing feathers.
I could do that.
So, any more questions? Because I gotta go deal with these assholes. You guys see that the hobgoblins are arm wrestling, have managed to break the table that they were sitting at and a couple of chairs, and have already finished the keg.
What can we do about getting some rooms?
I mean, be careful whose roof you stay under, but there's no, like, you can just stay wherever you want. It's pretty temperate weather. It's always dusk. It's not freezing, but it's not warm. I'd say, find a park bench. A lot of travelers just kind of stay in the main hall in the center of town. It's big, it's spacious, plenty of room. Lots of coming and going, and the food. It's great.
Thank you. And yeah, because gold doesn't work.
And whenever she turns and walks away, Glader's gonna look at Renwick's pitiful cup of ale, and he's gonna pour some of his nicer ale into his little cup, fill it up for him.
He's just gonna put one hand, like I guess he can't reach your shoulder because he's too short, so he'll just like kind of put one hand on your knee and nod without looking at you, and then just keep sipping.
So, back to our tea party. Blade and Logos, these two super interested nymphs. They kind of they don't really speak, and the noises that they do make sound like the jingling of bells and things. But as your tea steeps, not only do they ogle you, they try to communicate their feelings to you. Like one of them, she points to your eyes, and then makes this like attempt at telling you that you have beautiful eyes, and it takes a while for the communication to go through because it's kind of a hard thing to mime, but she finally gets it across. And Logos, you're kind of in a similar situation. This nymph lady is like staring, very like oogling at you, and she seems curious about everything about you. And she just kind of rapidly starts moving her hands without saying anything at first, and then kind of realizes that you don't speak sign language, and then starts to like try to slowly mime things. But essentially, what you can gather is she is curious about the braids in your hair.
Oh, I'm gonna like speak to her. Can you understand me?
She nods yes.
Okay. They were given to me by a strong warrior. A symbol of being a good warrior, I guess. I'm not too sure. I think it just looks nice.
Her curiosity satisfied, she moves on to other things. She kind of looks at your bow and gestures. Actually, with a wave of her hand, she mimics like a deer. And then an arrow comes sailing out of nowhere and strikes the deer and drops it. And this like small illusion kind of fades, and she looks at you kind of questioningly.
Uh, are you asking if I can hunt? I'll ask her.
She nods.
Uh, yes, I'm actually a very skilled hunter. I can hunt almost anything.
She swoons like deeply. She takes a deep breath and exhales and puts her chin on her hands and kind of bats her eyelashes at you as she's kind of staring you down. Blade, this nymph kind of gets it across to you that she thinks you have beautiful eyes, and then she blushes and stares down at the ground, only casually like taking a peek at you from like a side glance.
Oh, well, can I look at her eyes? I want to see what color they are.
Green, for sure, green.
Oh, a matching pair, I would say. Tell me, my darling, do you like music?
She shakes her head yes, like rapidly, like excitedly.
What kind of music do you like? Calm, rapid?
She, with a wave of her hand, a melody begins to play, and it sounds very much like a harp.
Oh, so like it's actually like music playing.
Yeah, like she begins to play like a classical piece on like a harp, just with the wave of her hand via magic.
I'll pull out my lute and kind of try to adjust to the uh kind of the tempo of it and kind of try to play along with her.
Okay, yeah, give me a performance check.
22.
All right. You're definitely even with a 22, which is low for you, I know, but you seem to be like a step or two ahead of her. She, try as you try to match her music, she kind of switches and adjusts after just a moment and begins to try to follow your music, but with less success. As she's not really playing an instrument, she's just kind of magically making like an illusory sound. But she seems to kind of get where you're going, and she kind of will occasionally like try to change the tune, and then so you guys are kind of like uh, going back and forth. You'd make a melody for a while and she'll accompany you, then she'll make a melody for a while and you'll accompany her. And, it's just kind of, this musical jam fest, essentially, for the time being. Uh, Blade and this nymph just start making some beautiful music, and the nymph kind of ogling Logos bats her eyelashes and smiles. She looks to the two of them, and then she looks back at Logos, and Logos, with a wave of her hand, she makes like an illusory smoke heart and blows it in their direction, and then kind of continues going back and forth between ogling you and ogling them.
Um, I'll kind of reach into my pack and I've had this since the beginning of the campaign, and I don't think I've ever pulled it out, but I have a hand drum, and I'll kind of point to it and see if like she wanted to join in on the little musical thing we got going on here.
Yeah, she nods excitedly and kind of claps her hands together, and then she points to you to start.
Me too. Oh no! Hold on, I check in my inventory. I should have it. It comes with my
Can,
character.
can I go ahead and like while I'm like doing my little song, kind of mutter some words to Logos to give him some inspiration?
Certainly, for sure.
All right, you said performance,
Correct. Give me a performance check there, Logos.
and
And you
what's
have a
your?
D12.
Oh, get to roll two of my pretty dice. Okay. Okay, that's a 10 with no modifier, and let's see the D20. Plus 7, so 17 total. No good.
As you begin, keeping beat, it's pretty easy to keep beat with a blade as a in the background, and as you do so, she with it looks less like a wave of her hand, kind of like the other nymph just made this illusory music with her hand. She rather seems to click her tongue, but rather than the standard click, it is the chime of a triangle. And she kind of is probably of the lot of you the least performative. It's definitely off in several places, but she's trying and excited to be making music with a lot of you. Anyways. So, as you guys kind of had a jam sesh, let's go back to the tavern. You guys sitting around this tavern, watching some various fae come and go, having a beverage. Tell me kind of how you proceed from here.
All right, so it seems to be kind of a sleep anywhere type deal. And it sounds like the main hall is pretty much where we need to go. Great hall. Hall and Oaks.
Yeah, I mean, we could just hang out here for a bit until Blade and Logos are done doing whatever the hell they're doing.
Well, knowing Blade, that might take a while, so we, I guess, might as well head that way to the hall and find a place to stay.
I mean, we could go do a little window shopping. Don't know how the exchange rate works, but
Yeah, that might make things a little bit more complicated. Something tells me that bartering might be more in line rather than purchasing, which is unfortunate because we've got a fuckload of gold at this point, and I feel like it does nothing down here.
Yeah, maybe we can trade. I mean, I don't want to trade favors, but maybe we can trade goods. Like if we have any stuff that, you know, you don't want or need anymore, maybe we can barter for more of this aft stuff. Is there anything we're holding on to that we don't really care to keep anymore? I
Oh, I'm sure
asked
we've
that.
got a fair amount of things, but you'll have to scroll up into the loot pool because my
Yeah.
computer's still updating.
Okay, so we got um man, we got a lot. We have some Yanti glaives, Yanti bows and boot daggers, um, 7 bottles of Fey wine. 3 of them are honey flavored. 2.5 bottles of Fey whiskey. 8 bottles of Fey. Maybe we can just trade some Fey liquor for some of this ass stuff. We have a lot of Fey alcohol for some reason. 4 bottles of regular material plain champagne, a pony keg of honey mead, bottle of or honeyed moonshine from the Spring King. Some tobacco. We got some champagne flutes, shot glasses, 3 different smoking pipes, 1 wood, 1 bone, 1 gold. I mean, we got some stuff that we could possibly trade to get some aft Is it aft or af?
AF apostrophe S. AFs. It's just
Oh,
short for arcane feathers.
okay. I was wrong on both accounts. Aft.
Oh
Okay.
hell, the Yuan-Ti weapons might be considered exotic here.
Yeah, yeah, we have. Let me go back to the Yanti. We have 5 Yanti bows, 5 Yanti boot daggers, 2 sets of Yanti shoulder pauldrons, and 2 Yanti glaives. So, I mean, like you said, that might be a, exotic type thing. I don't think there's really Yantis in the Fey realm, so somebody might be into that. We can find some weird fairy pawn shop.
When I've also got this, and Renwick reaches into his bag and pulls out his trident of the wave and kind of holds it up, and he's like, I'm sure magic items probably at least carry a little bit of weight down here, especially rather unique ones. I think at this point we've got a handful of rather unique items, so perhaps we're in line for an upgrade. Foreign goods for foreign goods and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I do also have that double-sided great axe that can summon a fucking purple worm god. They might be into that. I'm never gonna use it because I don't want to, sacrifice fucking person for 10 whole minutes to get some powers. But maybe someone here might. Well, I like this plan. I say we go try and find some sort of I don't know, someplace that'll buy just all sorts of random shit.
Look for an armory or a weapon smithery.
Or a pawn shop.
Or a pawn
Everyone
shop.
has pawn shops. Yes, I guess Sean, I guess we just start wandering around town trying to find some sort of armor or weapon merchant of the sorts.
Okay, go ahead and give me your call. Perception, investigation, or insight.
Can we all roll separately, or do you want to
Yeah,
take
you
no
can
heading
you can either aid one another or make your own roll. Just tell me what skill you're using.
And you said perception, investigation, or insight.
Correct.
I'm going perception.
Yeah,
I
Glader's
have
good.
a +9 investigation if somebody wants to give me advantage.
Yeah,
Uh, I was going to say I have a +10 perception, and I rolled a 22.
Okay. Yeah, Glader would help out Locust with the investigation, like just kind of like asking people around, like walking up to random townsfolk with him and like be like, "Hey, have you heard of some sort of weapon shop?" That'll give him advantage. First 26, so I guess
First
he
one's
doesn't need it.
26. That's not bad.
And everyone's rolling rocks tonight.
Okay, so Gladiator, it kind of occurs to you to maybe get some info, and you notice that the only people brandishing any real weapons are these hobgoblins, and you kind of ask around, and they kind of rude and gruffly tell you not only to absolutely fuck off unless you want to arm wrestle or fight, but that they make their own weapons and armor, and that merchants are for pussies. And then they go back to drinking and arm wrestling and breaking furniture. But Locris, one of these lone Eladrin, just kind of seems to be swirling a glass of wine deep in thoughts. Once you inquire, she definitely points you in the right direction. She says, there's only one trader. If he can't help you, I don't think anybody can. She gives you some general directions, which are not too far away. A few houses down is apparently a merchant's stall of the town's one and only merchant.
All right, so the merchant's over this way.
Yeah, down the road, couple houses up on the left. He's a nice guy. Ikar. He's a hard worker, but sweeten the pot by bringing him a little bit of some booze. He's a bit of a lush.
Well, this must be our lucky day. We got plenty of booze.
I certainly appreciate that tip.
This kind of icy Eladrin nods and then goes back to contemplating what are probably sad thoughts as it swirls its wine and sips on it. All right. As you guys prepare to leave the tavern in search of some weapons, we're going to cut back again to this jam session tea party. As you guys have made a wonderful bit of music, the nymphs kind of took it a little too far, but they are like just excited and happy to be playing music, and they get real into it, and they start dancing and jamming along with the music, and it's not long before they're hot and sweaty, gasping for breath. They draw water magically out of a carafe and share it with one another before sitting down and sipping their tea. Rather than sip it, though, they shoot it almost as if it was liquor. They blast this hot tea down in a single gulp. And one of these nymphs, Logos, she grabs you by the hands, and she points to she grabs you by your hands to get your attention, and then with both hands she points upstairs, and she gives like the follow me, and she slowly begins walking upstairs. Blade, this nymph, she kind of looks to you, and she looks at one of there's a stairway, but there's also a door near the stairway on the same level. She looks to you and looks to the door, and looks back to you, and just gesturing with just her head, says, "Come on," yeah, and heads towards this room. So at this point, what do you guys do?
I kind of like, give the look to Blade and wait for the nod if we're full to separate.
So before we go any further, I think if I remember correctly, the last session I had Gabrielter.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Could I have him, well, not be inside the hut, but can I just have his head like kind of poking in the window, just for
Oh yeah.
flair?
Oh, for sure. If you bring an animal into the situation, there is a brief moment where both nymphs completely ignore both of you and are just excited to pet this fuzzy creature, and would definitely, magically with just a whip of their hand summon like an apple or some oats, and they are just drawn to him naturally for a short time before returning their attentions to you two. But yeah, Gabriel Alters absolutely could be standing at the window that you guys kind of crawled in, putting his head into the room.
Blade is going to look at Logos and be like, well, then, I mean, they seem nice enough.
Should we do one last little insight check? I
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me some insight checks.
got a 22 total.
22, very nice. Blade? Oh man, a nat 1, huh? Oof. Oofta. So, Logos, she seems happy to have you around. She's kind of enjoyed your company and dancing and things, and she has pretty much conveyed to you that there's something upstairs she wants to show you. And she beckons you upstairs. Blade, you look at this lady, and she looks back at you, and you absolutely get lost in her beautiful green eyes. Logos, I'm going to say, with your passive perception, you see this a sprite, like this very small fairy-like creature. It's almost like half insectoid, actually. Kind of buzzes in from one of the open windows, sees what's going on, dives for Blade's feet very stealthily, very quietly, and manages to, clasp a couple of his buckles, essentially tie his shoelaces together. And in this moment, Blade, as you're trying to insight this nymph, as you're looking deeply into these green eyes, you take a step forward and immediately fall flat on your face. And it causes her to laugh her very bell-like laughter. The ringing of bells fills the room briefly.
Man, why did he do my boy like that? Can I try to catch that little fucker?
Yeah, give me we're going to say, sleight of hand check.
Is Gabriel laughing too?
Gabriel Alter might find you being pranked funny. Yeah, he is highly intelligent. He might have given you a hee-haw.
I say dirty 20.
Well, I can't roll for shit today. A dirty 20 is definitely enough. This small, fey-like creature, roughly the size of a large grasshopper, does have grasshopper-ish legs and just jumps from the table towards one of the windows. But you are quick enough to catch him in with your hand. So you have this tiny fey creature caught in your hand. What do you do?
I squish it. No, just like a blade. Well, well, that's not very nice. Why would you do that to my friend?
He just kind of shrugs and he points to the attractive nymph lady. His tongue hangs out, kind of like an old cartoon for briefly. He definitely gives like the hubba hubba type of vibes.
Oh, do you fancy them?
He smiles and and shakes his head. Yes.
Well, it's not nice to embarrass someone in front of such beautiful women. How would you like to be embarrassed?
Then you squish him.
It's at about this point, Logos, a strange warm liquid fills your hand and begins dripping down from the hand you are holding this fey in.
Oh, come on, you're better than that. I'll just shake my hand and I'll like flick him out the window really hard.
Did he piss in your hand?
I think so, dude.
Damn.
Well, imagine you think you're so quick, you just get caught midair by this. I'd piss myself too.
Oh, fuck this place.
Honestly, it's the Fey realm, so let's just hope it's piss.
The nymph lady looks a little concerned after you have flicked this ferryman out the window. She kind of she puts her hands on her hips and gives you like curls her eyebrow and gives you the finger, not like the middle finger, but like the finger wag. She's like she gives you the what are you doing? And then she shrugs.
God, she's attractive. Showing me the fingers. My apologies. He embarrassed my friend. I'm sorry. I just couldn't let that slide, and I hope like Blade up. tie his shoes for him.
Do I grab his pissy hand? I don't want
You do.
I put
to fucking slip back on the floor.
It's like, it's wet and sparkly for some reason, Logos.
Thank you. Sorry, that was a little embarrassing.
Yeah, so the nymphs haven't changed their mind, but one beckons Logos to journey with her upstairs, and the other beckons Blade into a nearby room. So my question to you guys is, how do you proceed from here?
Oh, Blade, I think we've come this far. What say you?
Let's just go a little bit further, I think.
Maybe we should have a code word or something if things get a little weird. The other notes become running.
Oh, that's a good idea. Any ideas for words?
Uh, which one of your animals is it? Gibraltar or Gibraltar? Which one's with us right now?
Gabrielda, my
Then
celestial.
we'll just say Gabrielter. Hopefully he'll come running through to help. And if one of us shouts Gabrielter, the other comes running.
Perfect. All right. It is written.
Well, I'll do I'll hold out my arm for like this, like that old Spartan, like grab the forearm handshake. May the gods be with you, my friend.
And with you as well. And as I handshake him, I'll also inspire him once more in case he needs any ability checks. And
You know,
where?
I'll give him guidance as well.
Yeah.
Very nice. You guys kind of predator handshake and swap some fucking spell work as one of you heads upstairs and the other into a nearby bedroom. And with that, once again, we're going to cut back to the other party. It is not far before you guys come upon what would appear to be the only stall on a street full of mostly homes. It is a very typical kind of merchant stall, but it is covered in these magical glowing lanterns. Probably 30 or 40 lanterns kind of frame this rather small trader's stall. But as you guys approach, a very kind of almost very inebriated gnome. You could tell he is currently drinking a bottle of liquor that would be considered normal for a giant. This bottle of liquor is big even for you guys, and this gnome is currently got it situated just right to where he can pull a string and have this liquor pour directly into his mouth, and he has been just straight guzzling for several minutes, just getting it, just not nonstop, putting bubbles in the bottle.
Now that right there is somebody who knows exactly what they like, and I appreciate that.
He coughs a bit and pushes the bottle back, and with one half-open, bloodshot eye, kind of stares you guys down, hiccups a little bit. They call me Ick. What, manlings? All right. What do you want to trade today? He kind of looks like he tries to stand to maybe shake your hand or be proper, but thinks better of it as he has a pretty good case of the wobbles and just kind of sits back down on his little stall.
Renwick will step forward and just say, well, we were told that you're the merchant of this town, and we figured we'd stop by. You see, my friends and I here, we like to travel, and we're purveyors of very particular items from a variety of places and realms and creatures, and, well, what is it that you might have that we might be interested in? I see that you like the drink there, and I happen to have quite the selection of uh, alcohol that we've gathered over a variety of realms. Maybe a handful of good smokes, if you're that type of person as well. Came into quite the selection recently.
You know, I've never met you ever in my life, and you just show up here with booze and smokes. Like, are you, are you my dad? Like, what's going on? You're like, you have to be related to me, or probably my godfather, or at least my long lost brother. He questioned. Regardless, I kind of love you right now. You know, a tear comes to his eye as he's like,
I just happened to be particularly observant, and I was admiring your rather large container there. Just more of an educated guess, but I am honored. Uh, what was it that your name was?
they call me Ick.
All right. Question for DM. He gave me his name. Does that have any significance in this moment?
If you had some kind of fey fuckery, maybe, but
Okay,
I believe
just making sure that
I
that
believe
wasn't
he
like a
said
blanket rule.
no. I believe he said they call me Ick. He didn't say his name is.
Yeah. He never said my name is Ick. Nobody said my name is. Everyone has said they call me.
Okay, gotcha. All right, just making sure. I don't want to get caught up in this fey fuckery, and I'm sure I will at some point. So I'm just trying to prolong it.
Very,
Uh,
very astute though. Very astute. 10 points extra credit.
uh, so Renwick will look back at him, and he'll just nod and say, "Well, they called me Wick, so that's quite the coincidence." But I I think we're going to be rather fast friends. Have you got anything that might pique my friend or eyes here or particular fancy? Uh, we are adventurers, so we like to stay rather armed. So if you have anything armor or weapons wise, maybe some fancy potions, scrolls, magic, really just anything of particular rarity or intrigue. And Renwick's going to take, let me see, I'm trying to find all of the liquor we have.
We have a lot.
Yeah, 2 years worth of loot. It's hard to keep track
Yeah.
of. I'm doing my best here, guys. Bear with me.
Oh, you're fucking doing
Uh,
a good job.
I'm going to pull out one bottle of the honeyed Fey vodka and just set it down for him. And just say, and that's for your troubles as you look through your wares. Something to just keep you, you know, I guess moving rather. I don't want you to get parched, is what I'm saying.
He looks taken aback, and he climbs down from his stall and takes a step towards you and just like buries his head in your chest and gives you like a long embrace. He climbs back up into his stall, grabs the bottle of vodka, and takes a big swig before like, oh, that's good. That's good. I mean, what are you looking for in particular? You need a fancy new sword. You want what do you need? Ick has got your back, and I think we might be brothers. I don't know. Our names kind of rhyme, and then there's like, I don't know. You bring my favorite drink of all time, and then
Oh, you're particular to the vodka. That was another lucky guess. I'll take that. We really must be, at the very least, maybe we trace our bloodlines back and it meets up somewhere along the way. There's definitely a connection here.
kid, I'm pretty sure that this is fucking destiny. He throws both of his hands into the air and kind of like falls backwards for a moment. He just kind of lays there for a moment. You swear he's like, you might hear snoring after a second. But then he pops back up to his feet. He looks confused, stares you down. He's like, "Oh, my brother." Okay, so you tell Ick what you need, and I'll tell you where or how or why, or we'll do the trading. How much more vodka do you got? You see that with only his second pull, he has almost drained the entire bottle of vodka.
Well, I've got quite the stash of liquor. If you have anything in particular, I mean, my friends and I here, we all use different weaponry, but we're always in the market for anything magical or with a variety of utility uses. So they can speak for themselves. But I mean, if you have anything that might be standoutish from a mechanical standpoint, pretty much all my shit's +2 at this point. But I use a rapier, and light armor, and a hand crossbow. But if there's any strange, wonky scrolls or shit that we might be able to use, I have some stuff we could trade. And he's gonna pull out another bottle. I'll go with one of the champagnes just to mix it up. Show him that we have a variety of things.
His eyes go wide and he fumbles through his coat pocket, but does have a cork or a corkscrew for whatever reason. Definitely pops the bottle of champagne and takes a big swig. Like, all right. Well, I mean, I've got access to it all, kid. What if I told you I could get you one of those? He points to your crossbow and he says, and it never misses. Even one time. Ever. Hits true. Every time. Magically enchanted to do so. What do you say to that?
Well, it sounds like the type of thing that has to have a downside.
Yeah, it's kind of expensive. I'm gonna need... normally I'd ask like 200 Fs, but you're a good guy. 80 Fs. You can take it.
Another question I have for you is, we are particularly low on AFs, so it's more of a barter system for us at this point. Unless you have an exchange rate from coin to AFs or whatever it might be. But if you'll trade items for items, I'm rather curious about this crossbow you speak of.
He kind of ponders for a moment. If you got something fancy, I'll take a look. Or maybe we can make a deal. What do you want to work with?
He pulls out the Trident of the Waves and a 1 second. He'll pull out the Trident of the Waves and another bottle of regular Fey vodka. And just set them both down in front of him.
Alright. Trident of Waves. Bottle of booze. It's like you speak my language, kid. Alright. I'll be giving it to you at a loss. I'm not gonna lie, but I like you. You speak my language. Tell you what. How about a puff on some of that tobacco you were talking about? And a contest just between you and I. Winner takes all, including the booze, the crossbow, and the trident.
Oh. What sort of contest did you have in mind?
Simple one. But, it's gotta be kind of a deal. Maybe we shake on it.
What are the terms before Glader got it? He's been paranoid the entire time in the
Thanks,
Feywild.
Dad.
Like literally, since the moment we stepped in and there were fucking talking flowers, Glader's been paranoid. So like he hears this talk of a deal and he like steps up real quick behind, like standing behind Renwick, probably towering over both him and Ick. She's like, what are the terms of this deal? What happens if he loses? What happens if he loses?
Okay, so if he loses, I get to keep all of the stuff, and he Yeah, other way around. If he loses, I keep all the stuff. But if I lose, he keeps all the stuff, and it'll be a simple contest, one just between me and him.
What is the stuff in particular? If he loses all the stuff. What stuff is he losing?
Oh, okay. We'll have to be specific. Okay, so
Yeah. Specifics,
the
please.
bottles of booze and the trident he wanted to trade for this badass crossbow. But I figure we put it all in one package, and then him and I, we have a contest. Winner of that contest gets to keep everything.
And that's it. No, nothing else.
Or you could just buy the crossbow for 80 afs for you. He points to Renwick, and then he points back to Gladiator, but 200 for you.
Gladiator's just gonna look down to Renwick. I mean, seems fine. Doesn't sound like he's trying to get anything extra. So if you want to go for this, I got your back. And he's gonna
Well,
put his
it does
hand on
seem
his.
like.
Sorry. There you
Oh
go.
no, it does seem like the type of thing that's probably going to bite me in the ass, but it also seems like the type of thing that might behoove us. Now, tell me, friend, if you tack onto that contest, I'll put what booze I have and my trident. And if you win, you take that. If I win, I keep my stuff and I take that fancy hand crossbow of yours. But you give my two friends here a chance to at least trade you for something without needing to do a contest themselves. No, doesn't that seem fair? You get a fair bit of business. I get a chance at a pretty fancy crossbow.
Deal. He held his hand out to shake.
And I insight check him before I go for this handshake, just to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
19.
Seems genuine and honest, and strangely enough, despite you physically watching this tiny gnome drink a copious amount of booze, surprisingly sober.
All right. I'll shake on that.
And as you guys kind of shake, he says, "All right, the contest is simple, and it's just between you and I, me and you. Us, brothers, bound by destiny, rhyming names. This is going to be epic. And the contest is who can remain still the longest." Starting now, he drops a little smoke pellet, and then the smoke pellet hits the ground and kind of initiates the beginning of this contest. He freezes into place, as I imagine do you, and the contest begins. Renwick, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw to remain completely still.
He's within 5 feet of me. He gets a +5.
For sure, yeah.
Or 10 feet.
I'll say you're right there, so for sure.
What? I didn't mean to demand he got it. If
Oh, no,
in this
no, for sure.
situation he gets it, you.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Sorry, I'm
It was
nervous.
so you said Constitution saving throw, and what was that bonus, buddy? Or
You get a +5, I think.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's a 23.
You just have to stay still.
And with a 23, after about an hour, both of you have not moved a morsel. And you just continue to stare at each other, locked in place, unmoving. Go ahead and give me another Constitution save, or a Constitution check, I guess.
All right. 22.
And after yet what feels like an eternity, you guys are just standing there, stone cold frozen, staring at one another. You see, it's almost like an involuntary twitch, but Ick's eye twitches closed ever so briefly.
Renwick holds his pose and just maintains eye contact to let him know that I saw that. Just to confirm that I lasted longer.
Ick, knowing that he's beaten, kind of sighs. All right. He's, returns your gear to you. And at his side is what appears to be a bag of holding. He reaches in and provides you a crossbow. Now, this crossbow is particular in a sense that it is exceptionally small. This is nowhere near even a hand crossbow size. This crossbow, it must be made for some of the smaller fae, because it is essentially launching toothpick sized bolts. And he hands you the crossbow. He says, never misses, ever.
Now that right there, that's a beaut.
So essentially, Renwick, you have a tiny fey crossbow. This tiny fey crossbow has a plus 20 to hit. However, it only does 1 damage.
And does this require attunement?
No attunement.
Duly noted. Duly noted.
That's fucking wild.
I had a gut feeling there was a catch, and I'm glad it's that, because I can still use that to proc sneak attack, motherfucker.
Perfect. Plus 20 to hit for sure.
Oh, that's good to know. What should I refer to this as?
We'll call it the tiny fey crossbow of critical strike. At least that's what they called it in 3.5.
And now, Ick, I believe you owe my friends here a chance to barter themselves without needing to do a contest with you, since we've taken up quite a bit of time here.
Yeah.
And he nods at him, and he sets down another bottle of the regular Fey vodka to line him up for the other two to speak.
He looks kind of bummed at first, but then you pull out this vodka and he chippers him back up as he helps himself to a hefty swig. Turns to the lot of you. What else? What are you guys looking for?
Renwick is also going to palm a bag of the honey flavored tobacco to Gladier and Locris so they can just start off their negotiations on the right foot.
Well played. Well played.
Oh, go ahead, Glader.
Oh no, I was gonna ask you to go. Do you know what you want or what you're looking for? Because I don't yet. I'm still thinking.
All right, Locris would come up, pull out a bag of the honey tobacco. Be like, well, got a couple of things, and see if you got something more fun.
Oh.
You pull out this honeyed tobacco, and he pulls out a pipe from within his vest, and he's eager to
boom on your
partake.
screen.
It was. Sorry. I just realized I'm not muted.
Yeah, so he's eager to partake in your tobacco. packs a bowl and lights it with not even a lighter, just magically summoning a flame at the tip of his finger. And he says, "So, I can see you know how to barter. What are you looking for around these parts?"
Well, I've seen what you offer in terms of weapons. I'm looking for something that could be fun. Maybe sow a little bit of chaos.
Ooh, fun and chaos. I've got something for you. He digs into his pouch, his bag of holding, and produces a vial of like maroon ink. And he sets it down on the table. So, what do you think about that, huh?
Well, it looks like a liquid.
It's an ink demon.
Go on.
He rolls his eyes as he's like, "Be ready." He pulls the cork, and this looks like it's fairy size. It's a very small, about 6 inches of creature climbs out of this liquid, and it seems to be made of inky liquid himself. He's like, "Guy, I don't know. We call this curse word." And as he says that, this tiny little blob of like ink, this little ink man begins losing his shit. He's like, "Fuck this and fuck those guys over there, and this is some bullshit." And as he's dancing around, he's flinging ink everywhere, and wherever the ink splatters, it's just curse words. Quickly, this guy's stall is covered with bitch, dick, fart, just various curse words, different drawings of buttholes and penises, and just like, basically just vandalizes this guy's stall. He eventually grabs him and forces this ink demon back into the bottle and corks it. The gnome, as well as his stall, are all dripping in red ink. Various curse words printed everywhere on everything. He sighs.
Oh,
Fun? Yeah. Chaos? Check. What do you say?
what would you want for it?
He takes another deep drag on this tobacco pipe, savors the flavor. He says, "For you, how's about 50 afs?"
Well, as my friend said, we're more into the bartering system right now.
Right,
How
right.
would
No
you,
afs.
or at least we don't know how many apps, and I'll produce the feather we have.
He takes your feather and weighs it on like a little scale that he has nearby. Oh, 1 half. He returns the feather.
Well, that's good to know. I do have here a wonderful top hat, and it produces friends.
Friends, you say? What kind of friends? I mean, I've got plenty of friends. He kind of looks around.
I'll reach in and I'll pull out a rat and toss it to him.
He actually is surprisingly agile and catches the rat. Stares at it for a moment. Inspects it, looks at its teeth, checks its fucking butthole, lifts its tail up, before tossing it back to you. He shrugs. I don't know if that's what you call friends, but most of us here can do that. With a wave of his hand, it would appear that half a dozen rats just run out from underneath his little stall here, and they scatter in various directions. Rat hat. It's kind of weird, but I don't know if I need something like that around here.
You have anything there, Gladier?
Yeah, I mean, I got some stuff I was looking to trade. Maybe we can do a group deal. You know, this little ink demon here, and I was looking to see if you had any other fancy weapons that might do some interesting things. You know, something that hit a little hard and maybe cause a little chaos as well. You know, yeah, I got some stuff that might sweeten the pot that you might be willing to trade for.
I mean, I could find something, I'm sure. What do you got to trade for there?
All right. Well, Glitter's gonna pull out. I'm assuming this is probably in the bag of holding because it's not really something he's just carrying on his back. But he, reaches over to Renwick's hip into the bag of holding and pulls out the giant fucking, um, two-headed, the giant great axe glaive thing of that summons Yakti and just like places it on the table. Now, see, this weapon here has multiple magical properties. Cause poison and psychic, assault damage. Really messes with someone's head, and also if the user's particularly willing to sacrifice someone, they can potentially summon a giant purple worm to aid them in battle. And then I also have this very finely crafted shield. And he's going to pull out a Steadfast, the shield he has not used in a fucking hot ass minute, made from the boulette uh, scales. And plop that down on the table. This is a shield that is made from the scales and a hide from a boulette, which are incredibly hard to kill if you weren't aware. But we managed to do it and harvested some of its hide and formed it into a shield. So this is a very unique and rare piece here. Not seen as far as the travels I've been on. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I mean, I like. Okay, okay. We could trade, but I'm gonna need just a little bit more from one or both of you. I told this guy we can do contests, but how about a little bit of an emotion? Do you have any sadness or anger you would like to get rid of? I could use a little.
Do you like hot sauce?
No, no emotions. I mean, yes, hot sauce. I'll take hot sauce too. Put hot sauce on the table too.
I take out a bottle of the fucking one of my 4 bottles of the hot sauce from the King of Brightwood, flop it on the table. This is personally crafted by the King of Brightwood, the Elven King of Brightwood himself. His personal chefs took great care and time creating this specific recipe that has never been bottled before. And I have the only 4 bottles in existence. Here is one of them for you.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check, Gladiator. I'll say with low Chris kind of and Renwick there, you can make it with advantage.
Oh boy. My persuasion ain't bad. Hopefully my dice rolls are good. Oh, that's a 28.
Damn,
10.
28. With a 28, he inspects all of the gear. He looks at the ink demon. He looks at you up and down, sees your rapier, reaches into his bag of holding, and pulls out a very colorful scabbard. It's basically it's essentially a rainbow scabbard, but it is a kopesh, and he kind of sets it down on the table, and says, "Packs a wallop if you know how to use it." And I feel like this is probably a fair trade, provided you, or you, he points to both Gladier and Locris, are willing to combo this with an emotion. I need anger and sadness are particularly high quality this time of year. So if you maybe a angry or sad memory you would be willing to part with for all of eternity, we could make a deal.
Now it's just one single memory. We're not giving up the emotion forever.
I mean, you could give me as much as you want. I mean, you could go through every emotional moment in your life. I mean, I'll take it all. Yeah, I'll find some apps for that for sure. But yeah, if you want to, just a taste. I like the way you manlings function. So who's it gonna be and what's it gonna be? Anger or sadness? Horn boy, scale boy. Which one?
Oh,
We'll give you anger.
Then it's a deal, and he holds his hand out to you, Locris.
Locris will shake his hand, and having the memory of his anger toward uh, the elves of his town for past treatment.
Yeah, you kind of focus on that memory and you relive it vividly. You feel all of the discrimination and the being put down, being treated as less than or second class, and yeah, the boiling anger, that resentment, that kind of and as you think of this, suddenly your mind kind of draws a blank. You're watching this gnome kind of pack up his freshly gotten trinkets while Gladier is handed a rather rainbow colored scabbard and containing a kopesh, and you are handed a vial of red ink that seems to contain an ink demon. Life is a lot more peaceful for whatever reason. All of a sudden, Locris, as you looking back on your memories, most of them are now just fond memories of your parents. In fact, you're kind of confused as to why you ever left and why you're hanging out with all these guys.
I have found Nirvana.
Meanwhile, this gnome, as he hastily and angrily shoves these trinkets into his bag of holding, he looks at you all as if you have offended him, and he says, "We're closed!" and snaps his finger, and with a poof of sparkles, is gone.
well, that was the weirdest trade encounter I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, I really wasn't banking on that going well. I just don't have particularly good luck with these type of things. But winning that contest was pretty clutch. Got us some pretty cool shit, and I got to keep my trident and all the booze. So looks like that'll come in handy in the future.
Yeah,
Sure, he's not the only drunk down here.
it was a complete turnaround from the dwarven bartender. Like that guy loved you.
He did think I was sort of his father, and that I had just come back for smokes, and it took me a really long time. But to be fair, I did show up with smokes and
Yeah, that's
reeking
fair.
of booze.
Locust, how you doing? Giving up some memories. Are you good?
Lucas, you have no memory of giving up a memory.
No idea what you're talking about.
You it literally just happened. He asked you for an angry memory, and you said deal. You shook his hand, and then yeah, got this weird look in your eye, and then he just stormed off all pissed off, and here we are. You don't remember any of that?
Nope, I remember you offered a bunch of stuff, and it seemed like he was making a deal on it, and we got stuff, so I assumed that's just was offered.
Well, that's I mean mildly concerning, but at least we're all here. We're alive. Maybe we should go find the other boys and see if they're you know also alive. Yeah, at this point they could be fucking dead. I don't know. They get some weird shit.
We're probably dead.
Yeah, let's go find them and then head towards the Great Hall.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
All right, so cutting back over to this tea party, Logos, this nymph, she takes you upstairs. It does appear to be like her personal quarters, and she has like a plethora of aquariums. Some of them contain small, like jeweled grasshoppers. Others contain like glass butterflies. There are a wide variety of different herbs and plants growing in some, mushrooms going in others. She's got like a whole wide insect collection, and she takes you to each and every single tank, and without being able to talk, it is difficult, but she kind of like mimes that these are her pets, and she like shows you like how she cares for her mushrooms and her cockroaches and her spiders and other various insects and flora and fauna that she has bottled up in the room. And this goes down for Renwick was had a Seraph for hours, so this goes on for hours. She's like cataloging all of her little critters and flowers and plants and things for hours with you in tow, just fascinated and happy to show them off. Downstairs in this other room, Blade, as soon as you get to the other side of the door, she shuts the door behind you. This room is kind of scattered and unkempt. There are lots of various leaves of various autumnal colors kind of scattered around. And with a wave of her hand, some music begins to play, and she gets right down to business. With one hand, she forms a circle. With the other hand, a single finger seems to penetrate it, and then she just cocks an eyebrow at you and gestures to this pile of leaves.
Oh yeah, I'm down. Send it. Blade just starts to unbutton.
She wastes no time, and before long, both of you are rolling around in this pile of leaves lustfully. About this time, after we'll say a couple of hours, thanks to Renwick's weird kind of stand still off type of situation, the party kind of returns. You guys know that Blade and Logos went into this small cottage. You guys can see that Gabrielter appears to have his head inside one of the windows. So, the back half of Gabrielter is standing nearby. But no sign of either Blade nor Logos at this point. So as you
I'm gonna peek my head in alongside Gabrielter. That's my boy, and just like pop my head in the cottage, and if I don't, or like the little hut, whatever it is, and if I don't see them, I'm just gonna cast Prestidigitation and just emit like a really weird, like noxious smell to see if I can just drive them out.
You son of a bitch. Thank you.
Logos, though you're only about halfway through cataloging this, proverbial aquarium zoo, a foul odor assaults your nostrils, and about the time you notice, the nymph notices, and she looks at you, absolutely offended.
Oh no no. That's not me here. I can probably take care of that, and I'll cast Control Winds. It's a 5th level spell, so
Okay, yeah, you can you can definitely aerate the room by burning a 5th level spell slot for sure.
You know what? That was worth it.
I think that little fairy dude must have had an accident again or something, and I'll just like blow it straight out the window that Renwick said. And Gabriel says it's the window we came in through. I'll just like focus on that point, so whatever smells, just like right out that window.
Renwick, a very rank smell assaults your nostrils as well. Blade, you kind of laying near this nymph in this pile of now very rustled leaves, utilizing them almost as a blanket. And a foul odor assaults your nostrils. And she looks to you and kind of crinkles her nose. And then she kind of shrugs and gets up and kind of she puts a little distance between herself and you for sure.
Well, I would have
Oh,
used the wind throughout the house because it's 100-foot cube, so that
Oh,
I would have aerated out the entire house if I could.
oh yeah, for sure. After a brief stint of a terrible smell, a strange breeze seems to waft in and waft out of the door. Weird, comforting, but does remove the smell.
I'll kind of like stand up a little bit and just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Gabrielta. Sometimes my celestial seed out there, he might have eaten some bad carrots or something. Sometimes he can kind of stick things up. I'm so sorry about that." And then I'll just like poke my head out the door to like look at Gabrielter, knowing that it wasn't him, but something is going on.
You
And
definitely,
you just see Renwick
yeah.
there with like his arm around Gabrielter's neck, kind of like leaning on him, one leg crossed, and he just gives you the like thumbs up and then points like back behind him, like, "Come on, it's time to go."
I'll put up just like one finger, just like not the bird, but just like 1 second, and then
Locris will
slam the door shut.
cast Locris will cast minor illusion and have it sound baby crying right outside both doors.
God damn.
Oh, the nymph blade. She plugs her nose with one hand and hands you a bushel of fresh carrots with the other. And as you take them, she kind of throws you a high five to your free hand and walks past you and back to the main chambers.
Hey, coming back here, that's for sure.
Yeah, the sounds of crying children echo through the home. to the dismay of the the dryads, who definitely look worried.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. My buddies are a bunch of jokesters. Please continue. Tell me about your collection.
She kind of gives you the side eye, but then continues going. Going through various mushrooms and various fauna. And, some of them glow. Some of them are like insects that look to be made of like brass or jewels or various metals. She's got like quite the collection.
Before I leave, I would like to ask her, um, would you like to? I mean, I know you were kind of interested. Would you like to braid my hair in a, more unique Fey way?
She smiles and nods, yeah. And she just kind of gently brushes her hand along the braid that you already have, and several pink flowers seem to just pop out of it.
Logus, this thing is gonna every time he's gonna get a new something done with his hair. All right, I'd better get going. Thank you. It was such a lovely collection.
She smiles and reaches into her pocket and hands you what appears to be a jewel. It looks like a ruby at first, but then its legs come out and it begins walking around, and you have a ruby beetle. She has gifted you.
I got crabs. Let's fuck up.
I will cherish this forever. Thank you. I like hold it towards my heart and like kiss her hand and help her up or whatever, and then just kind of walk out the door with her.
Excellent. So as you guys all reconvene just outside this little cabin, this little home of these nymphs, tell me kind of how you guys proceed.
Well, while you boys were getting your dick wet, we found a pretty cool merchant who got us some pretty badass stuff for not a lot after I beat him in a contest, and unfortunately then he got real pissed off and disappeared, but glad you got laid.
Oh, I just had a
Wait,
nice conversation.
wait, what?
Yeah, she was real sweet, and she collects bugs and flora, fauna all over the place. It's actually really awesome to see. And then she gifted me this, and I'll kind of, for the first time, since I got a little time, inspect the ruby beetle that she gave me.
I cast Shatter.
No, I was just sitting here like, I'm gonna shoot it with the crossbow. It can't miss. I'm just gonna knock it out of his hand.
Oh, it was so quiet up there. I figured you two were kind of really connecting, you know?
Oh, we were. I was just listening to her talk. She had a lot to say. And she braided my hair and gave me these flowers. It was very lovely.
I was gonna say, something's different about your hair. Is that the flowers in there?
Yes, I mean, I asked her if she wanted to braid it since she's shown an interest. And she did.
I hope that doesn't make things awkward with Tardok. She's gonna know that it's not the braid that she gave you.
Hardock knows that a warrior's braid always changes. And I just added to it for my conquest. And it's not like me and Tardock are anything exclusive. We're just, warriors who run into each other and enjoy each other's company.
They grow up so fast.
So, as the hustle and bustle of the village kind of moves along around you guys, this place that you guys are in is kind of stuck in this eternal sunset, this autumnal court. Tell me how you guys proceed from here.
Can I see what that little beetle does? Is it just like a little ruby beetle? Does it do anything?
Yeah, is you kind of inspect this beetle. It definitely it is capable of gnawing through like inorganic material. It can burrow through stone. It can burrow through steel. It's basically unstoppable and considered like a pest in these parts of the Feywild. But aside from that, it can sort of act almost as a familiar to you, should you decide that you want to embrace this little guy.
So is it actually like alive?
It's definitely alive. It is, well, it crawls up and down on your hand. It is, yeah, and it has a particular diet of inorganic material. So this little beetle can burrow through wood, stone, metal, and the like, and act as a familiar to you, if you so
Oh,
choose.
100%. I will, as we're
I'll say.
walking, spend time to, get to know it and, deem myself friendly and to start creating that relationship with it.
It definitely crawls up and down on your hands, and you have to actually reach out and catch it a couple of times because it does also have wings. It can fly. So
So we head on to the Great Hall.
okay.
Before we head off, would I be able to figure out what that nymph's name was?
Do you want to ask her?
Oh, absolutely.
She creates an illusion with her hand to kind of tell her story. So you see her talking with her sister in this like illusion. It's a silent illusion, but her and her sister are talking, and it would appear that there are some Eladrin also in this picture, and she conveys to you through this illusion and mimicry and sign language that she no longer has a voice because it was taken from her and her sister, and same with their names. Their names and their voices were essentially taken from them through various forms of fey fuckery.
Oh shit. Okay.
So she just makes like a question mark, with the illusion, shrugs her shoulders. She has no idea.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
She shrugs, goes back to playing some light harp music with the wave of a hand. So, as you guys make your way to this, center of this village, there is a great hall there, and it looks to be as if a massive oak was fell, and just the inside hollowed out to make this great hall. As you guys enter, there are various fae and many Eladrin and hobgoblins and various pixies and sprites and fairies kind of coming and going. There are spreads of food on dozens of tables that are just overflowing with fruits and vegetables, various meats and cheeses, ales and wines, and pitchers of juices and waters, etc. There's a roaring fire in several places in this great hall. And dead center, as you guys kind of enter up against the far wall, is what appears to be like a throne made of thorn bushes, like very woody, thorny, not very comfortable looking seat. But upon it, kind of overseeing the various comings and goings of the hall, is what you can only assume to be the princess. She has a very autumn eladrin face with this like very fiery leaf. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was talking to my wife. I thought I was muted. My bad.
Oh, no worries. I thought it was glitching out. So this, she's got the face of a an autumn eladrin. She's got these fiery autumn colors, a fiery kind of skin tone. But she's kind of disformed aside from her face. Her arms are swollen and muscular and very much represent look very similar to that of the hobgoblins that you guys have encountered earlier. She's, clawed hands and all, and her legs seem to be very insectoid, and so do a set of wings that look to be tucked neatly behind her. As you guys kind of enter, not many do more than give you a passing glance, but this princess, you have caught her eye immediately, and she like leans forward in her chair as you guys enter, kind of eager. And she says nothing, does nothing, but watches you intently from across the room. Now, there's, like I said, a couple dozen Fae going about their business here. A couple of hobgoblins trading war stories, drinking. A bunch of Eladrin and gnomes and other various Fae kind of either getting comfy near those fireplaces or helping themselves to some hefty portions of food. So, kind of tell me how you guys proceed.
I say we go to the food.
Well, maybe we should talk to the one in charge first to make sure there's not some sort of trade-off for eating their food and drinking their ale. And also, we're here for a purpose. Maybe we can ask her about some transportation, then maybe get some food.
I shall be guided by your highness in this matter. And Locris will do a deep bow.
Feel like you're being a smart ass, but I don't hate it.
All right, come on, you're the royalty diplomat. Go talk.
Alrighty then. What's the other? We're going to the winter court. Where are we trying to go again?
The Winter Court, yes.
All right. Well, shit. Right, let's talk to this crazy bug hobgoblin elf lady. He's just gonna, I guess, start walking down towards the princess.
She is kind of stoic, but smiles, and as you approach her, she welcomes you. Welcome! I have not seen a manling here in an age. What could we do for you? What brings you to not only the Feywild, but the Autumn Court?
Well, your highness, me and my friends here are looking for this guy's father, and he just kind of gestures over to Logus. Yeah, it seems that he came here on a specific mission and possibly got kidnapped by the queen of the Winter Court, and we're trying to negotiate some sort of a deal to get him back. And we heard from some sources that you had quick way to travel there, and we're hoping that maybe we could utilize that.
She ponders. She says, And what you tell me is true. If what you tell me is true, we might be able to work something out. It is true that I could send you directly to the palace of the Winter Court, right outside its gates, with the snap of a finger. You and your party alike. But how do I know what you say is true? Would you care if I verified this?
Oh, I'll help you verify it myself. Uh, don't be alarmed. I'm gonna cast a quick spell here, nothing to harm you, and I'm gonna turn and cast Zone of Truth on Logus, and then ask him, uh, which I guess if you're trying to resist the spell, it is a charisma saving throw, but that is, I guess, up to you.
I mean, makes me a little uncomfortable. You're so comfortable just divulging these kind of information.
All we're trying to do is, I guess, I think we would have this little short conversation before I actually cast the spell. Listen, all we're trying to do is prove to her that we're telling the truth, and then
Why can't we just say we need to go to the Winter Court? Why do we need a reason? Why does she need to know?
I
What if
literally
she's
just
friends
told
with
her.
the queen?
I literally just told her, and she said she wants proof that we're telling the truth.
Yeah, so she can tell the queen.
I mean, it's too late now. I already said the reason we're going there. You guys put me in
Why?
charge. This is the way I'm going. If you
Yeah,
didn't want this, this is what's happening. I can hold off, and we can see how she wants to verify your information if you would like to go that route instead. But the information has already been shared.
Fine. Yes. Hello. What would you like to know?
She, in turn, in following kind of Gladier's step, she recognizes the spell. She says, Simple. Is what he says true? And she also casts Zone of Truth upon you.
Let a zone of truth happen. I'm gonna resist one.
Okay, yeah. Give me a charisma saving throw.
Who's you resisting? Because I'm sure the DCs are
Gladier is out of spite.
completely different.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know what his save is.
My
I
save
have
is
a
like
plus
only
10.
0.
my save is 18.
God
I have
damn.
a plus 0. Natural 20. I rolled a 10.
I'm assuming you probably failed both.
Oh, yeah, by a lot. Her DC's higher than yours for sure.
Yes. Yes, it's true.
She ponders for a moment. She says, I would show you all something before I send you on your way. She steps off of this thorny throne, and as she does so, it retreats into back into the earth, and it reveals in its stead a spiral staircase leading downward, and a couple of hobgoblins kind of wander over, very heavily armored types, and she waves them off, and she gestures to you lot. Follow me. We should have a private word before you venture onward. And she walks down this spiraling staircase.
Glader walks by Logus and smacks him in the ass. See, I told you you'd be all right. And then just
Yeah,
follows
she
her
could
down.
take us to this other room to murder us. You're never talking again. I swear to God, dude. If we die, I'm gonna kill you, dude. I swear.
He just shakes his head and keeps on walking down.
Can I insight this lady when she says she has something she needs to tell us? Like, does she look mad or what?
Yeah, for sure. Give me an insight check.
That's a 27 total insight.
She seems calm and composed, but you are getting mixed signals, kind of a sense of concern, but also a sense of relief, perhaps. But yeah, she seems at least upfront and honest at this point.
Well, I have no choice but to follow him, so I'll follow Gladier.
Okay, as the lot of you descend this spiraling staircase, it gets colder and colder and colder the farther down you go. And after a few minutes of walking down the spiraling staircase, the queen leads you to a single door at the bottom of this staircase, and it's completely iced over. And she opens the door, slides it open, steps inside. The entire room is covered in ice. The floor, the walls, the ceilings, giant ice stalactites and stalagmites everywhere. In the center of the room, a frozen bed, and upon it, a winter eladrin lays face down and appears to be frozen in place, encased in ice. And this princess, as she kind of shows you guys this room and this individual, she says, "My aunt has found herself a bit of a new fancy. My uncle," she gestures to the man frozen in place, "is not taking it well and has not moved in some time. I fear that another couple 100 years in this state, and he will likely perish. So you would be doing me a great favor if your plan was to come here and liberate this one's father." Okay, she points to Logos. For you see, he is the object of her affection. Now, her and I, we don't always agree on how to rule or how to govern, and how we should treat our subservience. And I find her cruel and distasteful most of the time. But she is, in fact, my family. And I will be happy to transport you immediately to the threshold of her domain. But, as with everything in the Fae, there must be give and take. I would do this for you for only one small promise. And that promise would be that none of you, through might, nor magic, nor malice, bring any harm to my beloved auntie. She is a lot to deal with, and though we don't see eye to eye often, I do not want her slain or harmed in any way. What say you, Sands of Justice? She kind of looks over to the party as you guys are kind of coalesced in this cold, frozen room that is essentially an icy tomb of depression for her uncle for the time being.
Um,
Eel, can I
well,
shake your hand?
What?
She says, "Great, thank you." I was not prepared for that. You threw me
All right.
off.
We
I
gotta
wasn't
get
entirely sure that we all came down there with them, so I was just gonna be like, well, looks like the two of you have to decide.
I was here racking my brain on how to respond to that. It's a good deal.
Blade quickly, a deal, and the handshake is made, and you have once again made a not only a deal with a fae, but a deal involving all of the members of the Sands of Justice. And as you kind of seal the deal on this, agreeing to that none of your party, through might or malice or magic, would bring harm to her aunt, as you shake her hand, a cold wind blows in sideways, a blizzard, snow. You are completely enveloped in freezing cold white blur. And as your focus kind of comes back to you, you stand but a couple of dozen feet away from a pristine white tower of ice in a frozen tundra. Just dunes of snow and ice in every direction as far as you can see. And that is where we're going to have to put a bookmark in our tail, fellas.
Oh, fuck.
it.
Oh man, so I definitely had
Well-
I definitely had a table for those nymphs. Like it was a 50-50 shot. There was 4 options and 2 of them were straight up like hostility / fighting, and I just fucking rolled smooth, you know. But there was a possibility that the nymphs didn't try to entertain you at all and just wanted to kill you.
Oh,
That's pretty good. I mean, that's for all those nymphs had a chance to turn hostile. It worked out pretty well.
no, it worked out pretty good. I would say.
So when we inevitably break our promise, is Blade the only one on the hook for it since he's the one who shook hands?
She said
On behalf.
She said that none of us, through might or magic, could harm her.
Yes, but do we pay the consequences or does just Blade? Because he
Blade,
made
I
the
think.
deal. So like if we have to sacrifice one person to just kill this queen, I mean,
It'd be nice too.
I mean-
Blade dies or whatever happens, and it's a clean cut after my arc. We just end the campaign there. Everyone's got a nice
No,
little
guys,
finish.
I'm fucking got the whole nother arc after here.
And then we never fucking know what Blade's deal is, and it's just a nice little mystery we take to the grave.
story for another time.
It's on my tombstone.
I'm just curious how she knew who the fuck we were.
Yeah.
That was gonna be my question.
Sean sitting there like, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Blade
pretty-
threw me off when he was like,
pretty
"Fucking deal" so fast.
interested
Like
myself.
I thought you guys were gonna consider it, but Blade being like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, dude." I was like, "Well, okay, yeah, done. I guess dialogue over, bro."
I like the idea that Sean let it slip, and he's like, yes, very interesting, right?
No, that's like 3 pages of notes gone. So much dialogue
I just
written, and then
Kobe Bryant did another 3-ring binder into the garbage.
Oh, what did we get ourselves into? We didn't have time to prepare. How are we gonna work our way out of this logic puzzle?
Freaking Gladier, man. We could have got food and rested. I just used a 5th level spell to watch them fart out of a house.
we can still harm her. She just said she doesn't want her slain. As long as
No,
we
she
don't
said
kill
no
her.
harm.
Can we get the specific wording again, DM?
She said through might or magic or malice to not bring her harm was the
Fuck.
deal, because she does not want her slain, as she is family.
But I can emotionally hurt her.
It would be
As long as you don't
malice,
do it maliciously.
just do it out of love.
Oh,
Just have
I'm
a
not angry
sit
at
down
you
and
when I
have a
do
real
this.
talk about her like faults and shortcomings.
Like, damn, those
I'm
pants are a
doing
little
this
tight.
out of love. A therapy session.
Tell her how it's all her mother's fault or something crazy.
Oh yeah, this is a fucking. I mean, I could. I mean, I don't want to discuss tactics too much with the DM present.
Well, I'll just say this:
I
there's
mean, go
very
for it.
few spells that I have that doesn't harm in one way or another, whether it be physically or emotionally, in such a vague, fucking deal we just made. I don't know.
I was expecting like questions or negotiations. Like,
I'm so sorry. I just want to rake for it.
it was perfect, dude. That was the best part of the whole thing.
Okay, let's go. We'll talk it out.
I
This is
mean,
Trump style art of the deal.
Blade's thinking with that post nut clarity. He's got you guys' best intentions, or whatever. He's got you guys'
Just
thoughts.
listen.
honestly, in the end, it's gonna make it more fun because we're just gonna have to think that much harder to find a solution. But it'll be that much more satisfying when we maybe figure it out.
Did I say unseelie queen? Because I meant Tarask. Figure that one out. No.
Without harm.
If it's a Tarask, I'm just gonna turn around and leave. Sorry, Logus, you're dead.
No,
Just
guys,
straight kill
guys,
Blade.
we don't have to stress it that
No, I
much.
fucking shatter you off.
We don't have to stress it that much. Blade has been training for this the entire campaign. I have like 250 plus pages of notes at this point that all collude to the fact that Blade will save us in the end by just fucking the villain into submission, and that doesn't violate the promise.
That's not malice or no. Yeah, you just literally have to have sex with her and both passes out.
Distract her long enough to where I can throw my dad in the magic hole and get out of there. We should probably discuss this when the DM's not present.
Yeah, no, Sean's gonna rewrite the whole thing now.
It's already happening. Too late.
We found the loophole too early.
You found some hole too early.
Oh, Gladier, come on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Loophole.
Low hanging
Oh.
fruit. All right, that was a fun
All
question,
right.
boy.
Well, I think I'm going to get out of here for the evening, fellas. Keep in touch. Let's do this crazy thing again soon, yeah?
Oh yeah, thanks, Sean.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, great
Great
session,
shit,
buddy.
Sean. Later, guys.
No problem.
I
See you guys.
Night, everyone.